dear, good afternoon. Isn't it a lovely afternoon?
Yes, it is quite pleasant, isn't it?
Yes, thank you by stopping by our booth. As you can see, we are here to urge the passing of the Arizona Women's Suffrage Initiative. Since Arizona has finally been admitted into the Union as a state, its citizens have received many new privileges, at least the men of the state have. Arizona voters can now use the initiative to change laws and the Constitution of this great state. We are here to urge all male voters vote yes on the Arizona Suffrage Initiative, which will be on the ballot in November. My name is Frances Willard Munns. I am the president of the Arizona Equal Suffrage Campaign. I have been active now in the effort for the past 10 years.
Really, have you now? I just have to wonder why someone as lovely as you would be so interested in the vote.
Perhaps you think women have no place in politics?
I think perhaps you are right there.
Sir, who agreed that man should govern over women?
Why, the good Lord in heaven.
Well, it's a shame he did not decree you some common manners. This assumed power should be condemned by all that believe in our democratic form of government. Don't women pay taxes? Should we not have the right to elect those that will represent us?
Not in this lifetime.
Taxation without representation is what our forefathers fought against and died for. Why? Why should women be denied the rights of full citizens?
Well, Mrs. Munns, may I say a few words? My opinion is a little bit different than my husband's.
Oh, please do.
I, for one, do not want to mess in the muck of politics. My place is in the home, and besides my husband, he'll represent me in the voting booth.
My dear, I do admire your devotion to your home. I love my own children dearly. But we cannot forget about the single woman, those unmarried or widowed. But my question to you right now is, do you think, if you could vote, would you make life better for your family?
How can she improve our family's condition by meddling in politics? That's a man's role.
Yes, my throne is in the home. Women exercise their greatest influence there because we can help control our men. We can help control our men's, shall we say, base impulses. And in so doing, then we know that we are indeed superior in our own way.
Oh, look who we have here, Mrs. Hughes.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Munns.
Oh, Mrs. Hughes, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to meet Josephine Brawley Hughes. She and her husband owned the Arizona Daily Star in Tucson until just a few years ago.
Truth be known, that newspaper owned us.
Mrs. Hughes, it's so good to see you here today.
Why, thank you. And good afternoon to all of you. Thank you. Arizona has been my home since 1872. And during that time, I taught school and raised my children and worked at home as a housewife. But I also worked in the newspaper business with my husband, sometimes running the paper when he was away. At the same time, as a pioneer woman in Tucson, I stood side by side with the men in fighting the Apaches who had raided Tucson many times. The women of Tucson took a leading role in establishing the schools. We taught and trained the children. The women also promoted, built, and provided the principal financial support in creating churches in this state.
Well, yes, but we know that women are by far more religious than men.
Absolutely.
True. And if we women can forgive them for that, we just pray God does too. the vote, we hope to go further in improving our homes and building our communities. I was president of the Women's Christian Temperance Union in Arizona, fighting the demon rum. But what could we do without the vote? I soon realized that without the vote we could not protect our homes.
Well, why should we protect our homes?
Madam, have you not one friend who has endured abuse from her husband after he has spent his evening in a saloon?
Maybe one.
And do you know anyone who has lost everything after her husband gambled it away? Without the vote, how can we do away with alcohol, which leads to this vile behavior?
Well, I can assure you nothing of the sort happens in my home. And I do not agree that women should vote. Good day, ladies.
She just does not realize that her views are supporting the saloon men, while she tries to enshrine the ladies at home. Well, perhaps her husband protects her, but what of the women who can barely feed their families because their men drink up all of the wages?
And I have known women plagued by this problem. But thankfully today, we are gaining the support of many home-loving women. Ever since Murat Masterson introduced a women's suffrage bill into the legislature in 1883, he and other Mormons have been active in the cause. And it seems to me that with women like Rachel Berry, Inez Lee, and Clara Kimball, and many other dedicated Mormon women, that they are with our cause and wish to outlaw alcohol as well.
Well, that may be true, but many members of my Methodist church are concerned that suffrage will include the Mormon vote, and in the past they have supported practices such as polygamy.
Oh, and that is in the past. The church has denounced polygamy. We can count on these good Mormon women to pass the type of reform that is so necessary to protect our families here in Arizona.